Danuel House came out and said that no player was getting triple teamed like prime James Harden during his time in Houston. He said, and I quote, "People talk about the Rockets and James Harden and they criticize us for not getting it done in the playoffs, but they don't realize how hard it was. Harden had 3 defenders on him every night. Name another player who had to deal with that on a regular basis. Teams would throw everything at him, double teams, triple teams, even weird defenses like having a guy stand behind him to stop the step back. It was crazy, but despite all that, he still got his numbers. People want to blame him for not winning, but it wasn't just on him." Now, what I want to say about that is, this is not to discredit James Harden, because he's James Harden. But when you listen to this, all I hear is Kobe saying that play style will never win. Listen to what he just said James Harden had to deal with every night. He getting triple teamed, double teams, people standing behind him, all because that was the only thing they did on offense. Hey, listen, our game plan is, hey, we're going to give James Harden the ball and he's going to make magic. And if the other team knows this, oh, nobody else is going to do nothing. Okay, cool. We're going to send 3 people at him. It's hard to win like that. To his defense, he did run into the Warriors, but still, it's tough to win championships like that. You can win a lot in the regular season because nobody's really game planning. There's 82 games. We play another team tomorrow night. Like, we didn't necessarily practice for you or them. But in the playoffs, when a team locks in, you can shut that down. That's why Harden, I feel like, has those games in the playoffs where he's not playing up to par. For him, it happens to be big games a lot of the times, but he has games where it's just a letdown, and it's because what he has to do is hard. So all of that basically led me to think, okay, what is the hardest player for a team to guard, for a team to stop? Is it the player like James Harden who does everything, the player like Luka, young LeBron, where you give them the ball and just say, okay, make magic? Think about Michael Jordan before Phil Jackson, before that triangle offense. They're just giving him the ball. He was shooting over 3 people as well. So it's like, is that the hardest player to guard? Where, I mean, if you ask the Pistons, they're like, bro, just foul him, double him, foul him, make him go left. We're going to beat him. Think about LeBron. I vividly remember Kevin Garnett in one of his interviews. It was like his way of saying, like, oh, we wasn't scared of LeBron, like a man-to-man thing. But what he said that stood out to me the most as a LeBron fan, he said, we didn't feel like he could beat all 5 of us. That stood out to me. It was like, yeah, you good, but you can't beat all 5 of us. And that was their mentality. You're not about to beat us by yourself. It's not happening. We don't care how many points you score. You're not winning, right? So it's like, is that the hardest player to guard? Or is it a player like Steph Curry, who he doesn't have the ball, but he's running around all game? Your whole team is responsible for finding him. That's also hard to guard. Think about Allen Iverson. Think about Reggie Miller. Think about what made those teams good. Is that what's harder to guard for a full team? Because I know what it's like to guard a shooter. I know when the second you turn your head, you look back and they're not where they were just standing. You see them catch the ball. Either they went to the corner or something. Catch and shoot, cash. You look at your coach. If you're not one of the good players on the team, that was your last possession, buddy. So I know the headache that is to guard shooters. Or is it the player amazing in the pick and roll? You give them a ball screen, they can score anytime they want, they can find anybody they want. Think about like John Morant. Think about Dame with that high ball screen. Think about Chris Paul, who can dominate a game, find any and every player. All he needs is a ball screen. Trae Young, right? So is it the isolation player? Is it the shooter who doesn't stop moving? Is it the pick and roll player? Who gives the team the most problems? And which one leads to winning the most? That's the real question. I feel like it's hard to put an actual answer on that, but it's just a good exercise to think about what type of player you should aspire to be. Everybody wants to be James Harden, but for the most part, the people who win play team basketball. And I think that's like the LeBron effect. You know how Jordan had that effect when he came into the league? Amazing scorer. That's what got him popular. So everybody knows Jordan as this crazy scorer, isolation player. No championships. The championships came once he started playing team basketball. There was a system. He started passing the ball. He started trusting his teammates. That's when he started to win. But everybody still wanted to be like Mike. So all the next wave of stars that came in the NBA, they were all isolation players. So that's the Michael Jordan effect. In my eyes, the LeBron effect is LeBron came into the league and you give him the ball at the top of the key in a pick and roll every now and then and say, hey man, whatever you do is our offense. Our offense is you having the ball. We go as you go. He did a lot of losing doing that, but he was fantastic. He became LeBron James. He didn't win until he got more talent and played in a system with teammates where he wasn't averaging 39 points in the series. He was averaging 26, 27. He'll average 30 if you need him to, but he was in a system. That's when the wins came. But after that, the next wave of stars are a lot of players who, okay, you give me the ball at the top of the key, I'm a one-man offense. Look at Russ, look at Shea, look at Luka, look at Trae Young, look at Dame. Everybody, it's called a scoring guard now, but it's really just, this is somebody who can shoot the ball, they can finish in the paint, and they can find people in the pick and roll. And that's going to be our offense. We're just going to put shooters around you. That's the LeBron effect. But is that the way to win? Because the teams that really win be like, the teams that beat LeBron are all teams. They play as a system. Those are the teams that win multiple times. Think about the Warriors. Think about the Spurs. Think about the Lakers with Phil Jackson. It's the system that wins. It's not the individual player. That's not a real thing. Those players make all-star games, and you're going to get your money, and you're going to put on the show for the fans. But if the goal is to win, you do that in a system as a team. You know, that's just what I think of when I see that quote. People don't realize how hard it was for him. He had 3 defenders on him every night. As a coach, why would you let one of your players have 3 people guard him every night? Let's put something in place so that anytime they even think about doing that, it's an automatic 2 points. Let's stop people from doing that. And then they say, like, you know, they want to blame him for not winning, but it wasn't just on him. It literally was just on him. He had no choice. Wasn't nobody else going to do nothing. So again, amazing talent, but is that the way that you should play?